Let's continue on with the work on the side of our vehicle by building out the geometry for the back. Alright, so we've got the side kind of built up there very generally. So now let's go ahead and add the geometry back here on the back end. So in this case we've got all of these edges to work with, so I'm going to go ahead and select our piece of geometry here, and let's go ahead and select these edges right here. And sometimes if you've got your move activated, you'll accidentally move those, so sometimes you can just hit Q just to make sure you're just in selection mode there. So I'm going to grab those, and now I'll simply go to move, and we'll just move those back. Okay, and I can do this at once, or I can do it several times to add that resolution. I'm going to go ahead and do it once. Go into vertex mode here, and I'll just kind of shape this up. So I'll follow basically kind of this line right in here. It's kind of where that back end begins. So I'll go ahead and just kind of follow along with that, with these vertices. Okay, and just begin to kind of shape this out. You can see this angles up just a little bit back here. Okay, if you'd like to add resolution, okay, as it comes in here, if you'd like to add some resolution in here along this way, what you want to do is go into edge selection, and let's make sure before we do that, just make sure that everything is matching up. You can see that our views kind of got off. If that happens, you can go ahead and just go back to top view there, and there you can see that. Well, let's go ahead and move this in just a little bit. So something a little bit more like that. And also let's go ahead and take kind of this vertex down here. We'll kind of move that in, as well as this guy. So it kind of angles in just a little bit as it comes in there. Kind of turns around there. Okay, so you can see that. Just kind of soften that up a little. And we'll do the same thing back here. Alright. So, as I was saying, if you wanted to add resolution in here, what we can do is use something called connect, and we'll be using this a lot. So we can go ahead and select these edges. You need to select all the edges that you want to connect across or create geometry across. Select all of those, and then we'll simply go to Edit Edges and choose the Connect settings, and here we can choose a number of segments, and we can also slide this along. So I'm going to go ahead and just add one, and we'll look at some of these other options later as we go on, but I'm just going to add a single kind of line of resolution in there. And then, so we've got this shape built, and now when we actually go into build the back end, we can just extrude that across and get a nice curved shape back there. You can see how this is even, needs to come in maybe a little bit more right in here. So we can take a look at how we can do that. And so we're really starting to get some geometry built in here. You can see we've got the kind of the back up to the top here. And so the next thing that we need to do is actually extrude out the front. Now we're doing things, taking things pretty easy here at the beginning. We're kind of just getting some general shapes out there, getting some geometry filled in. A lot of this topology is going to be a little bit more complex, and we're going to have to get into some more a little bit more advanced techniques of redrawing some of the topology and just thinking ahead a little bit, especially on the front part of the vehicle, where you can see that we've got a lot of this curves coming in, and this flows into this part, and this kind of flows up in here. So it's going to be a little bit more complex than what we're starting out as, but we're kind of starting slow, and we'll kind of get up to speed as we go. So in the next lesson, now that we've got that back end kind of filled in there, next we'll go ahead and do the same thing kind of on the front. All right, so we'll go ahead and come in the next lesson and start to do that.